Hey there guys, gals, and non-binary pals, it's DMG, welcome back to Blitz, and today we are going to see my own ability in the T25 AT, or the T25 TAT, I believe. This is the Tier 7 Tech Tree American Tank Destroyer, turretless, that leads to the T110E3. Now, something that is very cool about this tank is that it gets out quite quickly. Notice how I surpassed this, I believe that's the 59 patent, and I'm able to get to the cap faster than him. I am a tier lower and am in a tank destroyer, but I'm able to get into the cap quite quick and take the base immediately. I really like this tank because it has a nice mix of speed, armor, alpha. It has a lot of good tank destroyer traits built in, but also has very good other non-destroyer-like traits. 10 degrees of gun depression is something that you usually don't find on tank destroyers, even of the American variety, and we do get that on the T25 AT. It comes in handy a lot when I am trying to fire at a T69. That being said, the gun's penetration, while very good, for its tier, the accuracy isn't the best. It's not awful, but it's not the best. I would say this is the biggest letdown of the tank, is missing shots. I mean, when you're all aimed in and everything, it's fantastic, and if you can stay camouflaged and simply annihilate targets, you get to really punch down with your 105mm cannon and ammo rack targets like the T69. Of course, that does not happen every time, but hey, you do get that nice module damage with your 105mm at Tier 7. The frontal armor of this tank is quite good. It makes it quite difficult to shoot at when it's hull down on a ridge, or I can't even say hull down because it doesn't really have a turret, does it? But when you have this behind a mound, I would say if you're in something that has less than 200mm of penetration, you're really going to struggle to pen the front of this tank unless you have clear shots at the lower plate. The rate of fire on this tank is quite good. I'm dishing 310 alpha per shot, and I reload in about 6.5 seconds. That's quite dangerous for a tier 7, and for how mobile this is, it is quite good. I'm able to push around that rock, get a shot into the KV3, and back off, and then come back around, finish him right off. This is quite a mobile tank considering how armored it is. I do run engine boost on this tank, so it allows me to get out to those positions quite quickly, and you do see me use that throughout the game. Is this a tank that I recommend getting? Yes. If you're grinding through the E3 line, definitely play through this tank. Save your free XP for that awful piece of garbage that is the T28 and the T95. You definitely don't want to be driving those. That is what Mad Game... Really, the T95 and the T28 are meant for Mad Games grinds. If you don't know about that, you can actually play a stock T95 in Mad Games, grind all the modules through, and unlock the next tank without any stat penalty. I fully recommend doing that as much as possible so you don't have to spend any money whatsoever. Anyways, we get a mastery there for 3,655 damage, 3 kills on Vineyards. Very easy stuff for an American tank that has 10 degrees of gun depression and a decently powerful armor profile to get a mastery on the hilly nature of Vineyards. Anyways, now we are on Alpenstadt. This is one of the newer maps released in the game, and the next map guide in the line, I believe, for what I plan on doing with my map guides. That will come soon. Don't worry about it. I know people have been asking about it. I know Bushka released an Alpenstadt map guide. I have my own thoughts on it, and some of it is similar, some of it is not. Anyways, I hope to be releasing that soon, but the T25 AT takes the spotlight at the moment. Now, the speed, like I said, is quite good. I'm getting out ahead of everyone else in this area, including my medium tanks, and I'm really able to push into a location that is dangerous early for a tank destroyer, knock down a tree, give me that camouflage I need to work back and forth on that ridge. As you can see, I'm not spotted, and I'm able to use that bush, or the fallen tree, to give me the maximum amount of cover until that Type 62 spots my side that is not covered by the line of sight of the fallen tree. Anyways, gun is good. I'd say 7 out of 10, right? So it's good, and you're able to hit great shots, but at the same time, you do miss shots like that. It gets the job done, is what I'm trying to say. The armor profile is fantastic for how fast it goes, so the speed and the armor are not the problem, which is actually quite the different case when you get to the T28 and the T95, where the gun and you're saying, okay, this is pretty darn good, but then the speed and the armor are really a letdown. I put in a shot into that Panther. He tries to crest the ridge. Kind of a silly move by them, and he gets taken out of the game immediately. The speed more than good enough to keep pressing the fight, as I am going to attack the Stir Emil from the side, or even better, get behind him. I do manage to catch his side. I put a shot in. He starts backing down immediately, making a great move. I try and ram him to block his traverse, but he does get in front of my tank, and luckily I am able to get around him. As you can see, the tank is quite fast. The traverse is quite quick. I went right around that Stir Emil as he got his gun in front of me, and then I was able to traverse quick enough to put in a shot into his side. I'm going to keep pushing in this moment. As you can see, I have yet to take any damage yet. So I am playing with a full hit point pool. That being said, the only slightly other bad thing about this tank is that its Tier 7 sees a lot of Tier 8. Tier 8 starting to see a lot more high alpha guns. This tank only has 970 hit points. At least that's what it looks like to me from the tiny screen that I am commentating on. Anyways, the IS-3 is about to come around this corner. Now that's a tank that can pen you with AP rounds. The BL-9 is a fantastic cannon, and you occasionally will get the lucky bounce, but I would say in the IS-3 standard round range is where you're going to start wanting to be a little bit more careful with your armor. That being said, never fully rely on armor, as you will always usually find yourself surprised at what pens you when you simply think, I will bounce everything. Now, I'm using the mobility here, trying to make him make a mistake in his rush. I do back up in kind of a zigzag sort of manner so that I am able to back up and turn one way and catch them. Type 62 tries to come around to kill my teammate, and I'm able to put a shot into him. There is that WZ, that nasty fake tank that has ruined Tier 8, probably for good. That tank needs to go out of the game immediately. I'm going to push around the corner and use my armor profile to wiggle and bait a shot out of him. If the armor profile is strong enough to get that shot in and bounce the shot, and I will come around and put a round into him. The premium ammunition, as you saw, more than enough to go right through. If you like that content, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. If you didn't, leave your constructive criticism in the comment section. I appreciate the opportunity to share my passion with you today, and I hope to see you next time.